Before we start with the main body of this video, I want to take up the community idea that I talked about some videos ago. Remember, I mentioned that we all should have the same safety vest when we work as paddle car drivers out on the road. Now, I noticed from your comments, from a few comments I got, that you liked the community idea, but you didn't really understand what the heck this has to do with a safety vest. Yes, what does the safety vest of a paddle car driver has to do with the price of fish in China? A lot. The idea is that we can recognize each other when we are out on the road. The reason this safety vest is different from any other safety vest is because you can imprint on it the words paddle car operator. Nobody does this in the paddle car industry. Nobody has this, and nobody will have it except the community of Paddle Car 101. The reason this is a good idea is because this will make you money. Yes, it will make you money. How, you ask? The answer to that is networking. Community and networking are in this case the same thing. To find out how this community networking idea will make you money, you have to watch my webinar. Yes, the free webinar, which most of you have not watched. It is free, for crying out loud. And in this webinar, you will find out how this networking will make you money. And then you will have a slow cognition catching up with you. This is why I need a safety vest. And when you have that cognition, please let me know. Okay, so now let's start with the video. Aren't you tired of your job? Becoming a paddle car driver can be a pretty liberating idea, to be honest. You will become your own businessman. You're gonna have your own business and you will be a business owner. Some of you might say, isn't it that most small businesses fail? Well, this is a valid point. The shocker is that 50% of all businesses fail after 5 years. And after 10 years, only 35 are left over, 35%. The rest is dead as a rock. In this video, I will show you how you take your step toward independence. And it is not difficult. Let me assure you about this. You can say, take this job and shove it and be your own boss for real. And if you like this subject, hit the like button and watch this video to the end, because this is how you pay for my services, okay? Now, I will tell you my story in detail. How did I really start out? The gruesome details are coming up. Now, you might say, I don't want to run a business because I might fail, and I'm afraid this will happen. Or you might say, too much work, I just want to drive. Actually, I personally may have the complete wrong idea what considerations you have regarding being an independent paddle car driver. So why are you not starting as an independent paddle car driver? What is holding you back? I really want to know. What is it that you are running into? What are the barriers that you have? I actually totally want to know. For me, becoming an independent paddle car driver was a liberating idea. It was a liberating action. Let me give you some facts. When I started out as a paddle car driver, I had about $5,000 in debt. I had 2 credit cards. My credit rating was 620. This is not exactly great, but it is also not a disaster. Now, here's what I did. I first moved to Texas because I knew Texas was the most business-friendly state in the US. Texas has no business tax, no corporate tax, unless you make $1 million or more in revenue. And back then it only cost $100 to incorporate. So I hopped on my RV and drove to Texas and basically lived in an RV in Texas, and I was hanging out with a friend I had down there in San Angelo. I then went to Dallas and bought a car. I bought a Honda Odyssey. I paid $4,000 for this. And I took that money. I basically made a cash withdrawal from my credit cards to pay for that. Now that costs a lot of interest. But anyway, I just did it. This was about in the middle of September 2019. I then Googled how to get a license or register as a company in Texas. And I found how to do this, applied for it, and got my license as a business in Texas. Once I had this license, I applied to Chase, the bank Chase of Manhattan or whatever it's called. I applied to them for a business credit card. And this was approved very rapidly. $6,000, just like that. Just because I had an LLC. That's what you really have to have. You have to have an LLC to get that credit card. And then I went on to, I Googled for certification. I knew from one of the videos I saw that you needed a certification as a pilot car driver. So I Googled, I found the first supplier of a certification course. I took it, paid $290 or something like that, and did the certification. It was literally a gamble. I actually had no clue of what I was doing. At the certification, I found out what equipment I will actually need to be a pilot car. It was a lot. I made a list, went on Amazon and bought one thing after another using my cards, my credit cards, just like that. And then I bought an oversized load sign for the top of my car, and I paid for that, what, $400 or something like this. Then I bought a light bar, for the top of the car. It was a piece of shit of a light bar, and I paid for it $750. Great. I also bought a CB radio with the wrong mic and the wrong antenna, but heck, I didn't know any better. And I drove to the TA in Weatherford and got the whole thing installed. At least I had something, even though I paid too much for the wrong things. And sort of an afterthought, boy, I need somebody to install this stuff because I don't know how to do this. So I found a couple of Mexicans in a town outside of San Angelo, really nice guys, really capable guys, and they installed it for $200. It took them 2 hours. They had to drill a hole in my roof for the wiring of the overhead light, for the light bar. And anyway, they did all this, took them 2 hours. I paid $200 and I was ready to roll. But then I had a horrible thought. I actually don't know where to get the business. How do you get trips? Plus, I actually didn't know what you do as a pilot car driver. What do you say to the trucker? What do you bloody hell do? So I searched on the internet, and I found a pilot car course from a guy called Scott Woods. He back then had a pilot car course. He doesn't have one today anymore, but back then he had one. And I thought, great, I'm gonna buy this course. I paid $150 for it. I had this course. I started it. That course gave me some better viewpoint about the whole business. It definitely gave me very good addresses and phone numbers of brokers and carriers I can drive for. Then he also said in the course that if you really want to know how to drive, you should find somebody who will actually show you how to drive. Basically look for a ride along on a pilot car trip. And then I did that and I found nobody. I actually found 2 possibilities, but both of them backed out. Oh no, no, I don't want to do it, or my boss says I shouldn't do that. Okay, good. So that didn't really help. So I went back onto YouTube and watched more pilot car videos. But these videos, frankly, really only show the pilot car driving behind a load or a pilot car driving before a load, and not really explaining what you are doing. So I basically said, okay, fine, I'm just gonna do it now, and I applied to ATS, and I applied to Daily Express. And a day later, after I applied to Daily Express, I had an email from Daily Express, them saying they needed a pilot car in Garden City. So I called back, said I want this trip. They said, okay, go ahead. And I drove up from San Angelo to Garden City and got onto that trip. And as I've explained in other videos, you know, that trucker was then basically kept me for a whole month and showed me how to be a pilot car driver. Based on the fact that I told him I'm a fairly new driver, which prompted him of originating to me saying, I'm going to show you how to do this business. I drove with a Daily Express driver for 1 month. In that month, I made $11,000. I was floored. I paid off all my cards. I felt like $1 million. I was 63 years old. This was in 2019. And I was a businessman. I have never been in my life before that a businessman. An independent businessman. I was my own boss. It was good. The only regret I had was, why didn't I start earlier? So if you want to know how to become a pilot car driver, watch the playlist here. Watch each video. If you want to know how to get business as a pilot car driver and find out how networking works, then go to my webinar link below in the first comment or in the description and watch that.